everybody, it's Jasmine here. Today I'm in a mood where I'm contemplating some things. I feel unsure about something that I do on my channel and just generally do in life, which I've always sort of, I guess, assumed as normal or acceptable. And then, I've made a few videos and there's been a lot of comments on those videos. And then it makes me question where I'm coming from. And I don't think that I'm wrong for making the videos that I do or anything like that. But just because you're not wrong doesn't mean you're right. So I think it's always good for it's always good to reflect on what we do in life. Okay, so as you guys may or may not know, I've made quite a few videos about different people on YouTube, mostly weight loss YouTubers or YouTubers who are extremely underweight. And I judge them on their lack of change, and if they make improvements, then I like to give a lot of praise for that, because I think that it's really good. It's really good for people to have role models. I think seeing other people do well, getting healthier in life, I think that's always good to see. But then I was thinking about how I get a lot of comments about people saying like, you shouldn't judge this person, particularly on the videos that I make about underweight people. People really go in on that I shouldn't be commenting about her weight at all, and that she's completely fine and healthy and whatever. And then they ask, would you make these videos about overweight people? Which, yeah, I do. Like, I do that. But anyway, so I get these comments, and now I'm sort of thinking about how this reflects on my day-to-day life. Like, do I go around judging people that I see on the street and things like that? And the fact is that I do. Not usually about overweight people, but I judge smokers massively. Like, as soon as I see someone smoking on the street, I think that it's absolutely disgusting and a waste of life, and just, I think that they shouldn't be doing that. I think it sets a terrible image to everyone around them, and that they should really be putting their health first and not smoking. And now that I've thought about this, it makes sense to me that I make all these other videos, because I obviously have a really strong belief that it's okay for me to judge people making poor decisions with their health. And should I be doing that? I really don't know. And where does it come from? I'm not 100% sure about that either. But if I think about it logically, if we take the smoking example, smoking is something that has really been drilled into us from a young age, that it's dangerous, it kills you, it's addictive, it doesn't bring anything into your life, it just takes away. And I think that through the way that we've been taught about smoking, we have been encouraged to judge other people for smoking and for putting their health at risk. I think when we're at school, we are sort of encouraged almost to make fun of people who think that it would be cool to smoke. Like, maybe you'd watch a movie and there'd be these teens who are like, oh yeah, come on, like, let's smoke. And we're encouraged to look at that and say, like, what a bunch of idiots, like, what a bunch of losers. And I don't think that anybody's explicitly said that it's okay to make fun of, mock, degrade, look down on people who make these sorts of decisions. But I do think that the way it's taught, it is encouraged as a way to make sure that we ourselves don't go down that path and start smoking. So obviously a good way to encourage people to not smoke is to encourage people to actively degrade the act of smoking and put down people who do smoke. And that seems all right when you think about smoking and the harm it does. But then we have a new health crisis, or crises. Obviously, anorexia is something that's been around for a long time. And I don't know if it's necessarily increasing. I don't know if the statistics show that. But if we look at the other end of the spectrum, morbid obesity has been increasing at extraordinary rates. So, the health crisis, we could say, used to be smoking and the cancer that comes from smoking. That was the health crisis. That was the focus. I think that we were encouraged to mock and feel superior to those who don't smoke in order to encourage us to not smoke ourselves. And that's making me wonder if that's how we've gotten to today, where we treat people who are morbidly obese in the same way or a similar way. Because that would make sense, right? We see someone who smokes, we see that every day they are putting something into their body that is killing them. So when we look at another health crisis, maybe we approach that in the same way. And then the question is that right to do so, or is that wrong? I think that I have been approaching it in a similar way. That people who are extremely overweight or people who are extremely underweight, that they choose every day to do themselves harm, either by eating too much or not eating enough. But there's a clear difference between smoking and a disorder to do with your weight. Someone who's severely overweight, they still have to eat. So how can I judge them for eating in the same way I would judge someone for smoking? That's really a lot more complicated because they have to eat. So me coming in and thinking like, oh, look at you doing harm to yourself and your health and your body, it's not going to work in the same way because they have to eat. A smoker doesn't have to smoke, so it's an obvious, it's more acceptable to have this gut reaction of, oh, that's disgusting, I can't believe that person is smoking, like, I don't want to be around that person. But someone who's severely overweight, you can't approach it like that. It just wouldn't work. They still have to eat. And if anything, it would just encourage them to, eat in private and hide themselves away, because there's no way for them to not eat. And yet every time they do, they're putting themselves at risk of being ridiculed by the public. And I definitely haven't set out to ridicule people, but I mean, I think that that's possibly where it's ended up. So yeah, I'm leaning towards that I need to find a better way to think about it, and potentially there's a lot of other YouTubers who make videos about these sorts of topics that need to think about it in another way as well, because it's just a lot more complicated than smoking. It's a lot more complicated than just don't put that in your mouth, don't make this bad decision, or on the other end, you know, do put it in your mouth, do nourish your body. So yeah, that's kind of the conversation I wanted to have today, because I think it's a time to reflect and to really think about what actually would be helpful and what is possibly just causing more harm than good. So yeah, I would be interested to hear what you guys have to say down below. If you have any similar experiences, you know, like, are you disgusted by people smoking on the street, and do you think that that affects how you respond to people, you know, who are doing themselves harm in other ways? Yeah, let me know in the comments down below. I am going to say that that is going to be it for me today, but I am sure that I have a dog of the day to show you guys. Let me just look inside my phone for a happy little dog photo. Okay, yeah, this one's a good one. So today's dog of the day is going to be my favorite sausage dog, who's on holiday at the moment, but his name is Frey. There he is. And he's basically the love of my life. Well, like, the love of my dog life. He's got a lot of energy. He loves to run, and I have had him in a few of my videos, so I'll link those down below. And yeah, so congratulations, Frey. You've made it to the top. Number 1 on my list of dogs for today. Anyway, that's it from me today, guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. And yeah, catch you all next time. Hey, door.